spell your name for me?
Just first name.
Maria, Maria.
And then in your case, I think we'll want your last name too.
Okay. Dorio, Dorio.
Oftentimes we're just for kids and the younger people, we're just using first name.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you so much. We're recording.
Okay. So what do you think are some important aspects of being a teacher at this program?
I think important aspects are not just the education background that teachers are trained to be in with these children, but a way to connect with them, bring out their passion of learning. So you want them to be excited about coming to school, excited about learning, and just find that way to connect to each child, and they're all very different personalities. So it takes a while to learn how to gain that skill because it's not something really taught in a school background for being a teacher, but how do you connect to children in different personalities, the shy ones and the really overt ones, and how do you bring out that quality of passion and learning in each child is just as important.
So when you think back to when you started out teaching versus now, because you're an experienced teacher now, how did that process of really learning that aspect grow and develop? What were certain catalysts for you?
I think with our school here, we started a mentor program. So when you started out here, you were matched with a veteran teacher, and they would kind of bring you into the social curriculum, the language that a lot of the teachers use with the children, and watch their dynamic and how they brought it out. So when I was really new, that was one great way to know. But I also, myself, I have a therapy background with child development. So I took pieces of that I already know and how to work with children at different ages and where they are developmentally. And that was really helpful too. And a lot of our teachers do have similar backgrounds in either sociology or psychology that have helped them with the education background as well.
So you talked about the social curriculum. Can you describe what is a social curriculum?
Well, just for our school in particular, we not only have mapped out all the skills and strategies we want the children to have per grade academically, as far as math and language, social sciences. But our social curriculum is important that we do. Again, we take the stages developmentally where each child is and figure out how we can strengthen their social personality and their social development. So let's say from preschool, where they're still in very egocentric play, we just want them to learn how to use their words with their friends, how to engage in friendships, because it's very new for them to start to play with others and how to share things at that can be a very basic level. And as you move up the grades, more and more you're trying to build more self-confidence, public speaking skills, how to speak to our friends, what it means to be a good friend. So it's not only just social in friendships, but also in a classroom, like being a team player, how to work with personalities that are very different than yours. We do a lot of project-based learning, so we want them to work with groups of kids, and we actually match them with kids that maybe their personalities clash because we want them to learn that skill. Because in real life, you will work with people very different than you, and the more children have that ability, then they're very empathetic to all others that are different than them, and more accepting of others, and more polite and conscious of what's going on around them.
How do you go about planning your environment? So how do you choose materials and the way that you decide that you're going to present them to children?
Again, for our school, we're particular to the Reggio Emilia background, which starts in a very early childhood education, but we do branch that all the way up through the grades. And the basis for that, again, is letting children be part of their learning environment. So we want them to be active in how the classroom is set up, where their learning centers are going to be. And you want the rooms to feel very natural. So we like natural lighting, natural wood furniture, plants in the classroom. Like we want it to feel more like a home to them, especially for the early childhood. This is a key. It just makes them feel a lot more comfortable. We use very soft colors. A lot of classrooms before, like when I was a child, were very bright colors and a lot of things that were alphabet that was bought in a store. But as you'll see in our classrooms, everything on the walls is made by the children, including the alphabet or things that are posted around the room. The children write for us, and then we put up so that they are active in the room. And you'll see a lot of natural wood furniture, not plastic furniture, neutral colors, low lighting as far as using natural lamps instead of fluorescent lighting. So those kind of things, there's a lot of thought actually into every classroom. It takes a long time to think about it. And you start off the school year with kind of a blank canvas, and when you bring your kids in, you say, this is your classroom. where do you want things to be put? So teachers know you have 5 learning centers. You'll have a reading center and a math table, a language arts table, an arts and crafts area, maybe a science area. So those are staple things. They're not deciding on that being in the room. It's just where do they want it and how do they want it to look. They get to decide that.
So, what do you feel is the source of your curriculum? Can you describe where your curriculum comes from and how you develop it and plan for it?
Our academic curriculum really comes from, we pulled from national standards to California state standards and then pulled it kind of to our own standards where we thought grades should be and the skills they should attain per age group. But we also leave a lot of fluidity so that if children, like I have a four-year-old in my classroom that's a first grade reader, so I don't want to prevent her from reaching her level. We kind of individualize or differentiate her curriculum so that she stays challenged as well, where we have some children still learning their letters. So at least at our school, we kind of put things more on a grid long term, that it's from toddlers to 8th grade, and all those skills are mapped out not by a grade, but just in developmental stages of learning. And that way teachers can go throughout the chart and figure out if they're learning these skills for kindergarten, maybe all the kids may or may not be in there, but there might be some that need more challenges in math or reading, and we don't delay them from going forward. If they have one skill they miss, then that next teacher also can look at the grid, because we pass the child's curriculum grid with them here. It stays in their file. So the next teacher knows, oh, they learned all these skills, but they forgot this one reading skill, and maybe that's affecting them down the line in 2nd grade. Because it's not, children don't learn in blocks. As adults, we don't learn in blocks like that. We learn a lot more fluid. So that's the academic guide, but social curriculum is the same way. So we have skills developmentally appropriate for a 2-year-old where they're going to be socially to our 8th graders, and that we want independence and we want them to be knowledge of what's going on in the world and more, community oriented. That's where that age can handle those social. So the social curriculum is designed the same way.
Okay. Can you share, for instance, we noticed the snail board. There was a whiteboard. Can you talk about what that is?